Sometimes providing power means lending a hand. So Entergy sponsors free tax return assistance and financial education to help our customers take control of their future. Together, we power life. Entergy.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is an historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, with support from viewers like you.
It takes bipartisanship.
The key to agreeing on a budget.
They know we all want to win in whatever that we do.
Monroe Mayor Jamie Mayo on plans to keep his city moving forward.
We're going to take dollars.
A new plan for our roads and bridges.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natasha Williams.
And I'm Moreau. Much more on those top stories in a moment on this week's edition of SWI. But first, a string of church fires has authorities in St. Landry Parish looking for answers.
These fires burned 3 African-American churches to the ground around Opelousas on March 26th, April 2nd, and April 4th. Fire Marshal Butch Browning calling them suspicious. They're investigating.
Now a look at other headlines making news around the state. Forecast for the upcoming Atlantic hurricane season, which officially begins June 1st, came out this week. AccuWeather released its version Tuesday, the highly respected Colorado State University Thursday. Both call for a below-average season, with AccuWeather saying between 5 and 8 hurricanes and Colorado State 5. The forecast says cooler ocean temperatures and the likely persistence of El Niño are factors. Louisiana's U.S. senators say they have a commitment from the Trump administration to decide in 2 weeks whether to change regulations that have kept thousands of state flood victims from receiving federal aid. Senators Bill Cassidy and John Kennedy don't know if they'll get the decision they want to start the money flowing to people, but they say they are pledging to keep fighting to get it. Governor John Bel Edwards and State Attorney General Jeff Landry have different plans they say will help people with pre-existing health conditions if Obamacare is overturned in court. Landry is one of 20 Republican politicians with their name on a lawsuit challenging the Affordable Care Act. Landry says the state could play a bigger role in providing health insurance, but stops short of a specific plan. Edwards says the lawsuit threatens health coverage for nearly 850,000 people in the state with pre-existing conditions. More than 30,000 people in the state got the boot from the Medicaid program after upgraded computer systems found they earned too much to receive it. The state health department sent notices to 40,000 Medicaid recipients 2 months ago, warning them of the change. Capital Region lawmakers have filed legislation that, if approved, would once again alter ITEP, the Industrial Tax Exemption Program. It would streamline the approval process and keep a degree of local input. The proposed law would create a local subcommittee in each parish that would consider ITEP applications and give local appointees voting rights on the State Board of Commerce when it considers those tax break projects. The award Notre Dame University calls the most prestigious for American Catholics will go to Norman Francis, for 47 years the pioneering president at Xavier University in New Orleans. Xavier is the only historically black and Catholic university in America. Dr. Francis, known as a civil rights leader and statesman, will be honored with the Laterry Medal on May 19th at graduation ceremonies for the Irish. The state's pledge of a new $80 million floodgate should give people in 6 southeastern parishes some relief from backwater flooding. The governor announced the CPRA's plan to build a permanent floodgate across Bayou Shan. He says revenue-sharing Go Mesa money, dollars from oil and gas developments, will foot the bill. A new LSU study finds more Louisianans are bullish on the future of the Bayou State, saying we're headed in the right direction, despite a low confidence in government. Researchers at the Manship School's Public Policy Research Lab released results of their 2019 Louisiana survey. Education and transportation are foremost in the minds of those surveyed, though 80% don't believe our elected leaders will work together to find solutions to problems. Meantime, another Wallet Hub survey finds Louisiana is the #1 most stressed state in America. This coming Monday begins this year's session at the legislature, but this week, a crucial House panel got a jump on things with hearings on the $30 billion budget. I sat down with Republican Committee Chairman Cameron Henry and Democrat Committee Woman Pat Smith to get a feel for how things might go. I first got reaction from Pat about things being rocky.
So many people thought this was going to be a great, 245-day session because we had a surplus and we were dealing with all the issues we needed to deal with in the budget, and then boom, we have our REC meeting 4 times and not recognizing the money that we have. And so when the governor came to present his budget, he included it, but it's just a proposed budget. It wasn't a final budget from the executive office.
And that's not something that has happened before. It's unusual.
This is the first time, I think they said, in my opinion, I think I heard it was the first time in ever that the REC was not a unanimous vote.
And what's behind that?
Well, it seems that the speaker has gotten in his head that he wants to wait to see for April to see where we land as far as dollars are concerned. And,
estimated before, though, and passed it.
Exactly right. So I can't tell you all of the reasons. I have my own opinion about it, that I feel that this is a means of them trying to hold the governor back and what he wants to do for this session, because it is an election year. Everybody who is posturing for some kind of position, and so to me that is one, and I think that they're trying to take over and stop him from doing what he needs to do for the budget. It takes bipartisanship to come to solutions, and if you're not willing to be a part of the solution, then you're always going to be a part of the problem. And to have conversations about what's best for this state takes dialogue. It takes honest conversation. And sometimes that doesn't happen. I think when you look at what happens in our committee meetings, there's always somebody that is going to be putting folks on the defense rather than saying, how can I help you through this, rather than this is what you did, and we're going to hold this against you kind of attitude. We will still have hearings for the next couple of weeks because there are a lot of agencies that are in our budget. And we bring them to the table so that they can at least tell us whether or not the monies that have been taken from them is going to hurt them, and what are they looking for from the state to help them with. So as you hear them come to the table, there are questions that are asked, can you live with this budget? And most of them will say no, they can't. Because some of them have been taken, like veterans have been taking quite a bit of money from them, and their budget really needs to be made whole.
Well, that was a debate on how much money we wanted to add back into the budget is really what we're trying to do. A debate of how well our economy was doing, whether it's based on policies we've made. In essence, are we collecting more money because we raise taxes, or is our economy actually getting better? Are we creating more jobs and more companies moving here? That's really the debate. Revenue Estimating Committee could meet, is going to meet in April. They may make a decision. They may decide they're not going to make a decision until May. We had to at least begin the budget process, which we've done and will complete by next. I think about 2 weeks from now will be complete, and then based on what REC does, we'll either be able to move the bill, House Bill 105, we'll be able to add money back in, or we might have to just sit and kind of hold tight and see what REC does in May. Like anything in life, the longer you wait, the more information you have, the better decision you can make, and that's really what we're going towards.
And let me ask you this, is it only policy, or is it also policy and politics not giving the governor what he is wanting in this election year?
Well, it's not really giving the governor what he wants. At the end of the day, if more revenue is recognized, House will appropriate it, and then through the amendment process, we'll take some of the things the governor wants, I'm sure, that we agree on. Some of the things that we don't agree on, we'll debate back and forth. It really has little to do about the governor and more about long-term viability of the state. You don't want to be putting yourself where you're spending money that you don't have. That's common sense. That's not a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. Basic common sense. We've gotten a grasp on that now, and we want to continue moving forward where we don't spend money we don't have. The hearings are going, in my opinion, hearings are going well. Good debate, good questions. When REC meets, they're debating whether or not to add somewhere between $0 and $134 million back into the budget. I think that process will play itself out, and at the end of the year, we'll have a solid budget. Hopefully, everyone can be proud of.
Are you concerned about anything being derailed by politics at the last second?
No, I've tried my best to keep, the party politics out of the budget process. That's not how things work. The budget affects everyone, both Republicans and Democrats across the board, so it's more important for us to make sure that we pass a good, constitutionally sound budget.
And the feel of this session compared to, say, last year?
I've been doing this for 12 years, and before that I worked in the Capitol for 5. So, everybody's always tense about the budget, but at the end of the day, with the help of my colleagues, we've put a process in place where more members understand the budget, which is beneficial for everyone.
The 2019 session gets underway Monday, April 8th. LPB will bring you live statewide coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Join Natasha Williams and me, along with Barry Irwin, president of Council for a Better Louisiana. We'll have the governor's address, then break down what was said and what wasn't said. That's live Monday afternoon beginning at 1 here on LPB.
The mayor of Monroe spent the day in Baton Rouge recently. He was speaking before a joint committee of Transportation, Highway, and Public Works. He talked about the success of his city because of money they received to make improvements after the March 2016 floods. We also talked with the mayor about his re-election bid and efforts to retain and bring more jobs to the city.
Good afternoon. I'm Jamie Mayo, mayor of the city of Monroe.
Monroe Mayor Jamie Mayo has taken this seat many times in his 18 years as chief executive officer of the northeastern city along the Ouachita River. His message at the Capitol meeting on this day was all about flood control and improvements.
I do want to thank you for some of the programs that have been very significant for us in the city of Monroe. In fact, the Rochelle project came through here, as well as a Westminster project and also Georgia Street and Oregon Trail.
Monroe, like many cities across the state, is still recovering from the devastating floods of March of 2016.
We've been working very diligently with not only our staff, which includes our city engineer and our staff at the city of Monroe, but also the city of West Monroe and Ouachita Parish. We've come up with a mechanism that's called Ouachita Strong.
And all are looking for new projects and improvements to try to prevent flooding in the future. For Mayor Mayo, one is especially important.
Young's Bayou Retention Project. The fact that we have an opportunity to address some of the flooding issues and challenges that we have in the southern part of our city, which consists of a large part of residents that are low to moderate income.
Mr. Mayo says he's also busy with many other projects, all aimed at improving the quality of life for residents in Ouachita Parish's largest city.
There are a lot of good things going on in the city of Monroe. We're, as we like to say, Monroe proud of them. We have a 60 for 60 list of projects, which includes infrastructure, economic development, housing, benevolence projects.
He says a key to success in any city is economic growth, and he says since he took office, over 2,000 businesses have set up shop.
We're proud of our small and medium-sized businesses, but we're particularly proud of our large corporations such as CenturyLink and Chase and IBM.
The Louisiana governor and CenturyLink CEO Jeffrey Story announced an agreement Tuesday that will keep CenturyLink in Monroe through 2025, something Mayo, the longtime mayor who announced late last year he's running for his sixth term, believes will lead to further growth for the area.
So it's a big deal to have a company like CenturyLink kind of come and really put a big footprint on the community, and they continue to just, I guess, grow and add jobs.
Well, there's no question about that. You have some 40,000 employees worldwide, and of course the corporate headquarters is in the city of Monroe. We're proud of that. It is the largest corporate headquarters in the state of Louisiana, and we always like to profile that. But you got some hard-working folks throughout the world that's come to the city of Monroe and to Ouachita Parish, and they have contributed to our community in a huge way.
And just as companies invest in the community, Mayor Mayo asked his city workers to do their part in the city they call home.
We want them to get out into the community. That's why we started the benevolence projects. And so they have worked to give fans to the senior citizens. They have also given water to the homeless and supplies to the schools, and we provide scholarships to graduating seniors and a number of other things. And these are not at taxpayers' expense. What we have found when we do that, well, not only is it good for the community, but it also improves morale, and if you improve morale, you're going to improve efficiency and productivity, and that's been great for us, and so that helps us overall.
The mayor says in his next term, he's hoping to take Monroe to the next level.
The number one project on my list right now is to get a new arena or event center downtown along our beautiful Ouachita River. And that is key for economic opportunities for not only our citizens here, but also potential conventions and conferences to come to our community.
The idea for a $90+ million project has met some opposition, despite his having already secured 75% of the funding to build it.
We have to upgrade, and that's why we want to upgrade to a modern 21st century event center or arena to be sure to get shows that we haven't gotten since the 60s. You know, we used to get Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5, and the OJs, and the Commodores, and Elvis Presley, and a number of other entertainers that have come to the city of Monroe. So we want to get back to that top level entertainment, but not just entertainment, but also conferences, conventions, AAU opportunities, and a number of other events that we can't get now because we don't have the proper facility to be able to get that.
The mayor says a major road project is also moving forward.
The Kansas Lane Connector, I signed the last piece of land right-of-way acquisition the other day, and that is key. So now you're going to see some construction where we'll have an inner loop in the city of Monroe. I mentioned the infrastructure projects, the quality of life stuff like the zoo, art, museums, and those type of things. That contributes to the quality of life for any community, and there's no exception for the city of Monroe. And those amenities have been great, and anybody that comes to the city of Monroe know that they have an opportunity to do a number of different things.
And as for that survey that had Monroe topping the list of most dangerous cities of its size, he says big work is being done in that area too. He says a study released earlier this year took aim at those previous stats and has Monroe moving in the right direction.
We just had the U.S. Attorney to come to Monroe a couple of weeks ago and made an announcement that the crime in Monroe has been reduced considerably in all major categories.
And the mayor says his goals for the city are like the ones he's held true for himself his entire life.
As a former athlete myself, they know we all want to win in whatever that we do. We don't always win, but that's our objective, to win.
Mayor Jamie Mayo, a Louisiana native, attended Northeast Louisiana University, that's now ULM, or the University of Louisiana Monroe, on a full basketball scholarship.
2019, this is a year to fix our roads. We started a statewide grassroots public awareness campaign, encouraging citizens to reach out directly to their legislators and us to say, this is what I think, this is what I feel, it's time.
That's Eric Ponte, one of the leaders of the group LC4. It stands for Louisiana Coalition to Fix Our Roads. That soundbite from Monday's Baton Rouge Press Club, where Ponte was guest speaker. He and the group are presenting a bill to secure fully dedicated money solely for the repair and construction of our roads and bridges, with a D+ rating we're some of the nation's worst. They're predicting that there will be broad support from politicians across party lines. State Representative Steve Carter says the coalition is using part of his failed attempt to raise gas taxes.
Steve Carter, great to have you here. You know, the tax on gasoline has not been increased in Louisiana for decades, and your plan to increase it did not pass. So why could this idea work?
When we tried it 2 years ago, it was a one-time 17-cent increase. So that was would get into your pocket pretty good. This one is phased in. It's a 6-cent initial, then every other year it's phased in 2 cents up to 18 cents. It hasn't been done, as you said, in so long that this just basically gets us back to where we should be after 30 years of not having a gasoline tax. So it's basically we're indexing it, but it's being carried over for a number of years.
So maybe that's why you say that it takes your idea, but sort of makes it a better one and maybe easier to accept.
Yeah, this, with a number of people who've worked hard on this particular bill, is, in my opinion, a very good bill for a number of reasons. The first thing is it's phased in, and I think that's important. People don't realize we have a $17 billion backlog on bridges and preservation, and we also have a number of projects that are in the bill that are necessary. One is the bridge in Baton Rouge. The bridge in Lake Charles is in trouble to build a new bridge in Lake Charles, and a few other projects are in there They have to be shovel ready in order to move up to the higher priority. They have to be ready to go in order for them to get the dollars immediately. These are just suggestions on trying to improve the quality of life of the people of our state. We've got people in North Louisiana who are maybe in the logging industry or whatever it might be. We have bridges that are closed. They cannot get around, and so consequently they have to go out of the way 30 or 40 miles to deliver their product. That to me is just not fair.
The plan is to create money to do the work that really should have been done all along.
We're going to take dollars that when you go to the pump and you pay your 6 cents or the additional 2 pennies every other year is going into this sub-fund. The way the bill is written, the only thing that this sub-fund can be used for is preservation, bridges that are closed, roads that need to be upgraded, and new projects. That's the only thing it can be used for. It cannot be used for any salary increases, any operating expenses through DOTD. So your dollars will be put into this sub-fund and used only for roads and preservation.
So how does this work with DOTD? Is there any ruffling of feathers?
Well, it could, but let me say what's happening is because of the Transportation Trust Fund and your tax that goes into that fund, DOTD's been using it where I thought that the tax was being used for new roads, for bridges, for preservation, for upgrades, et cetera, et cetera. Some is, but a lot of it is used for operation out of DOTD. Mm-hmm. Now what this is gonna happen is DOTD has never had to come to the table in appropriations and ask for dollars because it's been generated by the tax dollars that you spend at the gas pump. Now they've got to go to appropriations to get their dollars to operate. There's going to be money left in there to operate, but it may not be enough for them, so consequently they may have to go to appropriation and ask for additional dollars.
One of the big cries about this push and this drive is to improve the D+ grade that we have on our roads and bridges.
That's correct.
Now, big companies, some heavy hitters are part of this. It's a public-private partnership, and that seems to be a wave of the future in something that can make some of these projects maybe work in a way that they wouldn't have worked in the past.
They're forming a coalition where they're submitted dollars and what have you to it, of which they're going to do social media and do some things to attempt to try to ensure that the legislators, their constituents, know how important this is. And so they'll do some social media stuff, then go back to their legislator to tell them, this is an important thing to do. I know nobody likes taxes. I don't like taxes, but when I go to the pump, because I use the roads, I should have to pay for the roads and the improvements and the things that need to happen. And God knows in Baton Rouge with the traffic problems we're having right now, particularly over the Intercoastal Canal, it's a nightmare here. We've got to solve the problem. And the only way we can solve the problem, which hadn't been done, as you said before, in 30 years, is to do something with the gasoline tax, that those dollars will be used to help solve the problem.
And our thanks to Representative Steve Carter for all that information. The Louisiana Hayride has lost their biggest cheerleader. Maggie Warwick, owner, performer, and staunch advocate, passed away this past weekend.
Warwick is being remembered for her commitment to Shreveport and the Hayride revival, which she fought for until the day she died. Leaders and country music fans around the state are mourning the loss of songwriter, guitarist, and Louisiana Hayride owner, Margaret Maggie Warwick. Warwick played a key role in the renovation and revival of Shreveport's Municipal Auditorium and was a mentor to upcoming country and rock artists. And just last month, Warwick led a celebration after a German company compiled hundreds of performances from the Hayride series and received a Grammy nomination.
He said, I'll love you till I die.
They didn't win, but it was another step to renew interest in a modern-day Hayride concert series at Shreveport's Municipal Auditorium. Warwick joined the cast of the Louisiana Hayride in 1958 when she was just 18 years old and performed there until it closed in 1960. She toured and recorded with Ram Records, and she wrote a number of hits for several country music stars. In 1981, she came back to Shreveport and married Alton Warwick. By the end of the decade, she became active in the revitalization of the Municipal Auditorium and later formed a nonprofit organization to support those efforts. Warwick, who wrote the popular song Reconsider Me, also served as chairwoman of the Louisiana Music Commission. Shreveport Mayor Adrian Perkins thanked Warwick via Instagram on Saturday for her commitment to the city of Shreveport. and her many years as part of the Louisiana Hayride. He wrote, Shreveport lost one of its biggest advocates today. Maggie Warwick loved this city and worked tirelessly to bring Shreveport music to the world. She was a singer and a songwriter who joined the Louisiana Hayride in 1958. More recently, Maggie served as chairperson of the Louisiana Music Commission. The last 20 years of her life were devoted to revitalizing the municipal auditorium and preserving the Hayride legacy. In fact, I had the good fortune to share the stage with her at the municipal during her event celebrating the Hayride just over a month ago. The city of Shreveport will miss Maggie. Our thoughts and prayers are with Alton and the rest of the Warwick family. Warwick died of complications of pneumonia. Maggie Warwick, a singer, songwriter, and advocate of the Louisiana Hayride, was 79 years old.
And that's our show for this week. Remember, you can watch LPB on demand on your phone or tablet with our LPB Anywhere app.
The download is free from your app store. You can catch LPB news and public affairs shows and other Louisiana programs you've come to love over the years. And please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
For all of us here at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Andre Moreau.
I'm Natasha Williams.
Thanks for watching. Until next time, that's the state we're in.
Sometimes providing power means lending a hand. So Energy sponsors free tax return assistance and financial education to help our customers take control of their future. Together, we power life. Energy.
Additional support provided by the Fred B. and Ruth B. Ziegler Foundation and the Ziegler Art Museum located in Jennings City Hall. The museum focuses on emerging Louisiana artists and is an historical and cultural center for Southwest Louisiana. And the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting, with support from viewers like you.